Hey there everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Welcome to another One Stamp 3 Ways. Today we are using this beautiful bouquet background stamp. Love, 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 love. It's so pretty and you don't have to spend $300 to get it. So today I'm going to show you three different ways to use this. We're coloring with some blends. We're doing some emboss resist. We're going to do some no line watercoloring. So let's head over to my craft table and get started. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. I would love to have you become an Elfie. And if you want to join Stampin' Up, now is a perfect time. For $99 plus your local taxes, you're going to get $125 worth of product, a 6x6, 48 pieces of 6x6 designer series paper, a mini guillotine cutter, and then your stamp set of your choice from either the mini or the annual catalog. And if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. I would love to have you join my team. There are new products that have been released called coordination products. You can find those over on the website. They have dies that fit with a couple of the stamp sets in the mini catalog, and then there's some paper that fits with the punch. And then at the beginning of March, there will be some new celebration items for you guys. So don't forget, it's celebration until the end of March. For every $50 you spend, you earn a free product. There are $50 and $100 products that you can see again on the website, on my Stampin' Up website. And then on Wednesday I made a card using a couple of the items that you can get for free. So let's head over to the craft table now and we'll get started. Hello, it's voiceover Misty here. Welcome. So this is actually Sunday, February the 9th. I filmed this on Wednesday. February, what was that? 6th? 5th? I've been having so many issues with iMovie and my Mac. So I'm sorry that this is going up so late, but hopefully you guys will still enjoy it. So like I mentioned, we're using the Breathtaking Bouquet. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. As always, there's supplies listed down below and over on the coordinating blog post. So since this is a background stamp, I added a mini glue dot to the back of my Whisper White paper. That way I could stamp the entire thing and not have to worry about using the magnet. And here, I'm just cleaning this off with the O towel. If you have the chamois, you could do this too. I just sprayed it with the Stampin' Mist and then cleaned it off because I wanted to also emboss. So I stamped 2 in black, and then I'm doing this one in Versamark. You saw me use my powder tool to remove the static, and then I'm going over this several times with my hand to just press because it's such a large stamp and it's really hard to see the Versamark. So I went ahead and stamped it twice, and I'm embossing that in copper embossing powder. So I actually have 4 different cards for you today. I'm going to show you how I used this particular stamped paper as 2 cards. Oh my word, words are hard today, guys. If you missed it, I announced my All Dressed Up class. That is the bundle with the purse die and the cute little paper and stuff like that. So all of that will be linked down below. You have until next Friday. So when I'm going to color something, this is what I normally do. I sit down and I figure out my colors that I want to use. Now, I am the type of person who will use different color families together. So like here, I used Cajun Craze and Calypso Coral. And here, I'm going to be using Rocco Rose and Fleur de Flamingo. For the blues, I used Pretty Peacock, Bermuda Bay, and Pool Party. And for the purples, I'm using Highland Heather and Purple Posy. I really love this. I love figuring out these color combinations. So what I'm going to do and what I'm thinking about doing is offering, I don't know what to call it, like a blends club. So you would purchase a particular color story for the month and the stamp set, and then you would have videos from me using those particular supplies. Let me know down below if that's something that you would be interested in. So here, I'm not going to be coloring everything colorful in this stamp, but I'm starting with the background, the leaves. So I am using light Mossy Meadow, and then dark granny apple green, and then I'm blending that out with light granny apple green. And I really love the depth of color we get from that mossy meadow. You don't have to use 3 colors. I just like to do that because I feel like it gives me a dark, a medium, and a light rather than just a dark and a light. And again, these all work well together because they're all alcohol based. And even if you had Spectrum Noir or Copics, you could use those to work with this. So I wanted a background that helped the flowers kind of pop out. So I decided to go with Smoky Slate instead of the Pool Party that I normally do because I'm going to be coloring a blue flower. And I really like how this turned out. And I just brought in a piece of chipboard to act so I could protect my worst surface. This is sped up like 800 times. So I do not color this fast. And in fact, I'm thinking about doing like a Wednesday video that is just a normal speed version of me coloring. If you guys would be interested in that, let me know. There wouldn't be any commentary because that would be like an hour of me talking, and you guys don't want to hear me talking for an hour, and I don't think I could talk for an hour. But it would be something just kind of soothing, something that you could put, on while you're doing your makeup or something like that. So just let me know. Okay, so I'm starting with the flower, the big rose, and I wanted a purple rose because you guys know I love purple. So I started with dark Highland Heather, then I went to light Highland Heather, then I went to purple posy, light purple posy. So that's my color scheme. So the closest it is to the petal, I'm making that the darkest because that is the one on top is going to be over that. So that's some of the things that we would talk about in that blends class, blends club, or whatever. So you guys, again, if you're interested in that, it would probably be like a 6-month commitment. I haven't worked out all the details, just because it would also be that you would build your blend stash. So if you're interested, again, let me know. And if you already have the blends, we could work out something different. So I'm going to show you one last time how I'm coloring this, and then we're going to speed it up to get through this because this took me an hour and a half to color this whole image. Now, some of this was me watching YouTube and all the things. There you saw me put a piece of washi tape on my light purple posy because I kept getting it mixed up with the light Highland Heather because the caps are basically the same color. So I went ahead and did that. That way I would know that I'm grabbing the right color. So you can see that just with 3 different colors that we're getting so much dimension on this rose. I really love this. I even love I just love this background stamp. I just think it's beautiful. And everybody's like, that's too long to create something. But this is something that you can sit down, throw in some YouTube videos, or if you're watching Hulu, binge watching your show or whatever, you can just sit down and just color. I mean, we used to do it as kids. Why can't we do it as an adult? And that's why those adult coloring books are so popular. So this is basically the same thing. It's just with a stamp, and this is going to end up on a card, right? So for me, it's just relaxing and therapeutic. It can be a little time consuming, but it also can be a little rough on my hands. Here I'm using dark Rocco Rose, light Rocco Rose, and then light Flirty Flamingo for my pinks. So sometimes I'll have to color a little bit, then I'll take a break, give my fingers a break because I have rheumatoid arthritis and it's especially bad in my hands. And then I will come back, later. So you don't have to feel like you're rushed. Just take your time and enjoy it. And here I'm trying to restart my American Honey by Lady Antebellum. I had that stuck in my head for 4 days. So I was listening to it on repeat. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up in just a second. But again, just coloring light to dark and then going back over it from medium to dark. And again, if this is something that you guys are interested in as a class, let me know. And it would be more one-on-one. We'd probably have a Facebook group. I try to do some lives with you guys. Again, I'm just working out the details. If you guys, if you're really interested and it would be something that you would want to take, then give me your suggestions in the comments because I'd really like to hear them. Now, let me preface this by saying I am not an expert. I'm not an expert. I'm not going to be teaching you, I'm not an expert. If you want an expert, Sandy Allnock is really, really great. because she is an artist. She does like watercolor and she can draw. And so she's, a true artist, and she went to art school. And there are so many talented people out there who can color way better than I do. But I like to say that I color for those of us who paper craft and not those of us who are trying to create, artwork. But I don't know. Crafting in real life, right? So here I was using light pretty peacock, dark Bermuda Bay, and then dark pool party. And I just felt like I wasn't getting the depth of color that I was getting from the other two flowers. So I brought in the dark pretty peacock and decided to switch those two out. And I really am happy with this decision. I think this just added way more depth. And it's just so pretty. I think that's a daffodil. I don't know for sure. I know the other two flowers are peonies. And of course that's a rose, but I think this is a daffodil. I don't know, but, it's blue today. Today it's a blue color because this is one of my favorite color schemes. As you guys know, probably, purple, coral, and blue. I have that in 2 rooms in my house. So, and then I love this beautiful pink. I just really love how this turned out. This whole thing. I would do it differently and I'll show you that when we get to the next point. Here I'm using dark Daffodil Delight. I started with light, but I brought in dark to do the center and then light Pineapple Punch to do the insides. I'm amazed at myself that I can remember all these colors. So here I'm using dark Cajun Craze, dark Calypso Coral, and then light Calypso Coral. And I'm really, I don't like that I used such the dark color because I just feel like this is a really dark coral and it's the wrong kind of saturation for the other flowers. The other flowers feel more pastel, where this one feels a bit more jewel tone. So if I had to redo this, I would probably do it with either light pumpkin pie, like dark Calypso Coral, light Calypso Coral, and light pumpkin pie, or light Fleur de Flamingo, or not Fleur de Flamingo, pretty pink, petal pink. Jesus, Mary and Josephine, Misty, brain. So here I decided that I wanted a little bit more of a drop shadow around these flowers. And this is where I feel like, because I just did light basic black and then I went in with light Smoky Slate. I really should have done this and then did the black into dark Smoky Slate and then the light Smoky Slate, because I would have gotten a better blend. Like it would have looked a better gradient. So yeah, but anyway, so I would use those, I would use petal pink with the Calypso Coral to get a brighter look. So I'm using the So Sentimental stamp set, I'm pretty sure. Yes. And then the ornate frames for the sentiment that's going to go in front. And then the sentiment on the inside I stamped using Gorgeous Grape. And now I have a Highland Heather card base. Now I ended up just putting this flat on the card, but what I wish I'd done was back this on Calypso Coral. So if I had this card, and I tried to pull it up, but there was no pulling it up, and I was not going to ruin an hour and a half of coloring, let me tell you. So if I had to do this again, I would have added that second layer. I think that would have helped the coral in the background. So I brought in these peacock rhinestones, and I just added 2 to the sentiment to help it look like brads, and that's the first card done. I really love how this one turned out. So the second card, I'm just going to focus on the 4 main flowers. So this is my favorite red combination. If you guys remember me coloring that poinsettia during my holiday card series, I used 4 colors there. Here I'm just using 3 colors. So it's dark Cherry Cobbler, dark Poppy Parade, and then dark Fleur de Flamingo. And I love this color combination for reds. I just think it's so stinking beautiful. And I love the depth of color that I get. And you can even do, like for that other one, I did dark Real Red, dark Cherry Cobbler, dark Real Red, dark Poppy Parade, and then, I don't know. You'll have to go watch that video. I don't have that great of a memory. But those are the colors that I like to use in this color family. So I'm speeding this real up. You'll see me moving my hands around because I was actually talking to a friend on the phone while I was filming this. Sorry, I needed something else to drink. And I apparently gesture with my hands, even though she couldn't see me because we were talking on the phone, not FaceTiming. But this one took me a bit longer to color just because, like I said, I was talking on the phone and I was, kind of doing other things. And that's what I mentioned. You can live your real life while you're doing this, do it while you're watching. I had, YouTube videos up for a while. I was talking on the phone. So I still was able to get some other things done, multitasking at its finest. So in the intro, you heard me mention that we were going to do no line watercoloring or no line, coloring and then emboss resist. I actually tried no line coloring with this stamp set, with my blends. And I did pretty well until I got to the center and I just went over it all with my lightest color and I couldn't see my lines anymore. So I abandoned it. I was like, nope. I need more practice. There's so many people who can do beautiful no line coloring and I'm just not that person, I don't think. Maybe next year when I have my bifocals, I'll be able to do it. But I just couldn't do it. I just could not do it. And maybe if I stamped in like a light gray instead of the light brown that I stamped in, I stamped in something close to like Sahara sand. So if I stamped in something a little bit darker than that, maybe I would be able to do it. And maybe that's something we'll, try on the channel. Because like I said, I'm always learning right alongside you guys. We're always learning, always evolving. So here I'm using, oh no, I got to sneeze. Excuse me. So here I am using dark lovely lipstick, light lovely lipstick, and dark, is that Flirty Flamingo or is that Rocco Rose? I don't remember. It looks like Rocco Rose. Yeah, I think I'm using the lovely lipstick combo and then light Rocco Rose to do the third blend. Sorry about that, guys. I wrote this down. You figure I would remember, but I didn't. So I love peonies, and I have peonies in two different places in my room. Of course, they're not real. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the other peony. I'm going to color it in purple. So the peonies in my craft room are actually a light purple, and they're really, really pretty. I just got them on Amazon and then put them in a plastic vase with some pearls at the bottom. So, yeah. So the same color combo that I used earlier with the dark Highland Heather, light Highland Heather, and then light purple posy. I do hope at some point that we get Gorgeous Grape in the blends because we have Blackberry Bliss and we have Rich Razzleberry. But for me, those two are really, really close together and they pull way more pink than they do like a true blue purple. Like to me, these are a blue purple, and Blackberry Bliss and Rich Razzleberry are more of a very red kind of purple. I hope that makes sense. So again, same coloring as earlier, dark to light and then backlight to dark, and then just going over it with the light to make sure everything blends together. We have no harsh lines, but we still have plenty of shading. So this last flower, I wish I had done an extra peony instead of this daffodil, and you'll see why, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. But I ended up coloring it yellow, and I really kind of regret it. I don't regret the color scheme. I think the color scheme turned out well. So for this flower, I ended up using dark Daffodil Delight, light Daffodil Delight, and then dark Pineapple Punch. Right? Nope. I used dark Daffodil Delight, dark Pineapple Punch, and then light Pineapple Punch. So again, everything will be listed. Every single blend I use will be listed down below. And then I brought in the soft suede markers to color the inside of the flower. And then I'm going to bring in my scissors and I'm going to cut out just the flowers. And like I said, I really wished I had gone ahead and stamped and colored and cut out one more peony. I'm not sure what color I would have done it in. Maybe just like a very light blushy pink. With petal pink and the light Flirty Flamingo. but I didn't. So here I'm using paper from the Golden Honey paper pack from Celebration, so you can get that for free with a $50 purchase. I'm using a basic black card layer, and I cut out that oval from an MFT die that I have in my stash, and I'm just putting these together. So that stripe paper is 2 inches by 5 3/8. The other paper is 3.5 inches by 5 3/8, and then the background paper is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So initially I was thinking that I wanted to bring in that real red ribbon, and then I decided that I wasn't going to. So the red rose is really going to be my focal point for this card. So here I'm just laying these down flat. And this is where I wish I'd brought in another peony. And maybe I could have kept the yellow, but there's only 4. And you guys know I like to do things in odd numbers. It's just more pleasing to the eye. So I feel like underneath that red, there needs to be another peony or another daffodil or something. I'm not really sure, but it is what it is. And I really like how this card turned out. I think it's one of my favorites. The coloring is so good. So here I'm bringing in the Stitch So Sweetly dies. So this is one of the scalloped rectangles. This is the next to the largest scalloped rectangle. And I went ahead and cut that out. And then I wanted a piece of like glitter paper behind it. So this is from like Die Cuts with a View. And then these are scalloped dies from Lawn Fawn, because I wanted some glitter paper in the back or some foil paper, and I don't have any copper foil in this house. I don't even know who I am. So I am going to be adhering these together just like that. I'm adhering it flat with some tape runner, and I am using Blackberry Bliss. I love copper with Blackberry Bliss, Gorgeous Grape, Night of Navy, Pretty Peacock. Like, I love it with any kind of jewel tone color. So I'm using this stamp from the Precious, is that Precious Posy? Peaceful Posy? Poppies? Word, brain. Anyway, I'm hand embossing that in copper embossing powder, and then I'm going to cut it out with that smallest stitched scallop rectangle from those Stitch So Sweetly dies. I think it's Precious Poppies is the name of that stamp set. Again, everything linked down below and over on the coordinating blog post. So when I use that powder, it leaves a powdery film on the paper. So I just use a cloth or my shirt sleeve to clean that up, and then I'm adding a couple of the copper stars, and that's it for that card. I really like how it turned out. It's a different layout for me, but I really liked it. So here you can see the colors that I love to use with this copper, and I couldn't decide on what I wanted to do. So this is the extra piece from the one that we used in the last card, and this is why you're getting 4 cards, because I'm not going to let that go to waste. So I end up deciding on Pretty Peacock. So what I'm going to do is I have a 4 1/4 by 11 inch card base, and then I'm going to put this on the outside of the card. And then remember, I cut this out with the next to largest scalloped rectangle in that Stitch So Sweetly set. I'm going to bring in the largest scalloped rectangle and a scrap piece of Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to emboss that same sentiment that we used in the second card on this piece of paper. I love that sentiment. That sentiment is from the So Sentimental stamp set. Those are my 2 like sentiment stamp sets from this mini catalog. I love it. Like if you only need one or 2 stamp sets in your life, they both cover the gamut. I love both of them. Actually, that sentiment from the last card was from this So Sentimental. Yeah, it wasn't from the it was from So Sentimental, I'm pretty sure. Again, everything will be linked down below. So I ended up stamping this a little crooked, and then I put I'm like, oh, I need to put my, die cut that a little crooked, and so it would be straight, but it still ended up crooked. But to me, it's one of those sentiments that doesn't really matter. It still looks pretty good. Here I'm using some Big Mama Jamma Scotch mounting tape for this, just because I didn't want to use 5,000 dimensionals on the back of this. So I'm going to go ahead and get this adhered, and there you can see it's going to cover, or I was going to, but first I decided I wanted to color some of our pearls, and I have I think it's bronze. I don't think they call it copper. Maybe they no, it's bronzed, a bronze Sharpie. You can color any of our embellishments, the glitter enamel dots, the pearls, the rhinestones, with any kind of permanent marker. So our blends, a Copic, a Spectrum Noir, a Sharpie, a Bic, any kind of permanent marker, we'll color over those. And I wanted to bring more of the copper in, and then I realized I colored an even number. I'm like, nope. And then one of them I didn't color really well, so I went ahead and brought in the marker again to make sure that I colored them really well. So this is the last card. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, I apologize that this has gone up so late. I will be back tomorrow with the card I mentioned that was supposed to go up on Wednesday. And then I will see you Wednesday for a color with me. And then I'll see you next Friday for another one stamp 3 ways. Thank you so much. I love you guys. You're just the best. Links down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.